Hello everyone and welcome to another cast of Major League Mech Warrior. This is week 5 in a match between 9th ranked Seraphim Rising Storm and 18th ranked MarineMechs. This is the elimination bracket, so the loser of this will be eliminated from the tournament. It should be a really good match. MarineMechs are actually, before that, also casting with me is Army of One. How's it going, man?
Going great, going great. Got to admit, I sort of lost my voice, but hopefully that won't be too much of a problem.
Sounds fine to me. If I need to, we'll turn up the volume. Viewers, be sure to let us know in chat if the volume levels are good or if I need to turn his sound up. So yeah, it's going to be a good match. MarineMechs pulling an upset against Comstar Regulars that was ranked number 10 last week. It was a really close set of matches. I'll actually go find the link for you guys because you should totally go watch that series. It was really exciting. We even gave away 500 MC prize during one of those matches for some clutch light play. So this is a pretty brawly map. It's going to be on Frozen City, and honestly, we've seen a lot of brawls this week. Let's see, what else do we got in the bracket here? So there was QQ Mercs took out 228th IBR, and that was another good set of matches that went 2-1 in QQ's favor. Again, really brawly series, and I think that's what we're going to see pretty much all week here. And yeah, what would you do if you were on this map, Army 1? You were calling it. You were making a drop deck.
Well, if it was my drop deck, it would certainly be a brawling drop deck. Just push over that ridge right in the middle next to that down spaceship, and you could either have very great success, or it could be a disaster, depending upon how well your team really holds together there.
You know, and that's what we've seen all week, especially on this map. Even, you know, in previous weeks it really shows as well. MarineMechs excelling in it, focus fire. You know, that's what it comes down to in a lot of these matches. You know, 4 guys go down early on one side, and that, you know, slight advantage is just kept the whole match. It really matters because it puts you down firepower and it puts you down armor when a couple of your guys get taken out too early.
And of course, if you're familiar at all with Mech Warrior Online, having that one person advantage really can turn the entire tide of a battle into your favor, especially if it's a larger map. We are playing 3 lights, 3 mediums, 3 heavies, and 3 assaults. So if you can imbalance one on the heavier side at the beginning, that's just a huge advantage for you going on down the line.
Absolutely. And, you know, you see a lot of people complaining in the forums. It's always been there. You know, this game has too many steamrolls, you know. That's just how this game works because focus fire is so important. Because time to kill one-on-one really isn't that low. You know, you can argue it is, but really it's not that bad. But when you have 8 or 12 mechs firing on a single other mech, it just melts them in, you know, seconds. So that's what the name of the game is, and that's why you see so many steamrolls, because once you're down a guy, that's one less for them to shoot at and one less of your guys to put fire on somebody else. Hopefully we're going to keep seeing that good focus fire from MarineMechs. Last week I was really surprised at how well they were doing that, calling targets against Comstar Regulars. It was just the first and third match really went their way. I don't know what exactly happened in the second match. There was a little bit of confusion out there. I think they could have picked targets better, but they have had an interesting journey. They, after an early victory against Stratagame Mercor in the first round, they, of course, got pummeled by Steel Jaguar in the second week. And from there, they've won over Ransom's Corsairs and Comstar Regulars, so they've definitely got some... They've shown their grit, that's for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, to be fair, who hasn't been pummeled by Steel Jaguars at one point?
Pretty much. You don't even have to play competitive to know the pain of being on the other side of SJR. Speaking of which, week 6, I don't exactly know how that's going to go. probably winner's bracket will play this week, because I'm guessing those matches are probably already scheduled. But we are extending week 5 because the holiday weekend has made it pretty much impossible for Axis of Ignorance to make their drop time this weekend. So I'm just going to let it spill over into next weekend. It's a good time to take a break anyways, considering week 6 is the first time it's going to be a best of 5 series. So it's going to get more intense, longer matches, could go either way. We've got number 1 Imperial going against 228th IBR Black Watch. And then the match of the week, the one that I think is going to be just excellent to watch no matter what happens, is of course Steel Jaguar versus Clan Smoke Jaguar. They had an Arhod match earlier this week. I still don't actually know how it went. I just know that when I left, it was 2 games apiece. And they are really even teams, always fun to watch them fight.
Just a little bit of casting setup. I'm not quite set up yet. What pilot will you be spectating, Bill?
Bandit B-17 is the team captain, and I believe drop commander for MarineMechs, so that's who I'm watching. I believe Matt Edge is also... there. I think he's on MarineMechs. I don't know. He's either the primary or secondary captain of one of the teams. That's all I know. And it looks like Bandit is out of my friends list. That probably means they dropped, so it's time to get in there and see what happens.
Yep, I'm certainly dropping in right now.
My client is not going yet, and fear not, viewers, I will remember the overlay, I promise. Okay, there we go.
And I'm in the match.
As am I. Hopefully my controller and all things are working. So it looks like trying to figure out which side is which. I believe Seraphim is down here in red. Correct? No. It's MarineMechs in red. I see Bandit B-17. They've got Atlases. They've got Thunderbolts, Hunchback, Firestarter, Stormcrow. So it looks like they're going to be pretty brawly, and likewise, Seraphim's going to be fairly brawly. They've only got 1 DDC, 2 Direwolves for the fire support, Thunderbolts. You see Thunderbolts this week pretty much in place of the Timberwolf almost across the board. I don't know that I've seen a Timberwolf yet. We'll see if that changes next week.
Those energy nerfs really hit them hard.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
The extended almost 25% burn time duration nerf. Those ER large lasers just go on forever.
So it looks like MarineMechs is moving in. Seraphim has top half of the map control. They have taken Theta, so they're going to win on caps if MarineMechs doesn't make a move. MarineMechs not really... I don't know what they're doing. They're sort of backing up to the wall with their Atlases. I don't know if they're forming up or scouting it out or what they're doing right now. The Firestarters seem to be looking around, taking a peek, trying to get a read on what's going on here.
Oh, the Seraphim has really taken a very strong defensive position. Right on the edge of that city right there.
Yep, they got all the direwolves just in a line, ready to put the hurt on. MarineMechs moving into that lower city now by Theta. Perhaps their lights are going to jump off the edge and go take control over there. Seraphim owning this plateau, and MarineMechs is going to push in now. I'm going to get in on MDM0 in this lead Atlas if I can, but he's going to take some serious damage going in. And he goes down right away. They're going for legs. A Direwolf is legged. Likewise, it's going to go down very shortly, and the score is 3 dead for MarineMechs, 1 down for Seraphim. Seraphim is really holding tight here. MarineMechs rotating around the right side, but they've got a lot of their beef trapped in the middle of Seraphim, that Atlas.
Yeah,
legs.
Sauce and his Thunderbolt just went down. Everyone's just going for legs.
Yep, it is legs, and it's still a tight match. This could go either way. Seraphim's got more mechs up, though. They've got the 2-mech advantage, it appears, at this point.
And it looks like Seraphim will eventually take the day. The only one left is Chucktacular, his fire starter. He's not going to last very long. Yeah, there he goes.
Yep, and that takes care of that. So Seraphim holding a nice defensive line there. I think that MarineMechs got a little too strung out on that push. That lead Atlas went down way too quick. You know, you look at the damage numbers and you definitely see the numbers that you don't want to see. A lot of numbers under 200, a couple under 100, whereas Seraphim, only one got caught out really, really quick there with 58 damage. The rest of them put up some pretty good numbers, a few under 200, but much better damage across the board.
And I must apologize to people watching my stream. It seems that I cannot access the list of players and therefore cannot go inside of cockpits at the moment.
Have you... Wait. Do you know how to... Do you just not know how to do it?
Isn't it hold tab? Well, I can't see.
No, it's really awful. Yeah, okay, so basically you have to hit the page up key and then this, like, triangle, this little arrow appears on the far left side of the screen. Yeah, it's page up, and then you have to move your thing to the far left side of the screen. It's really janky. I really hope they fix that for us, but whatever. It is what it is, and we have it, so it's better than nothing. So Seraphim taking that first match.
It's been a while since I've used mouse and keyboard with spectator mode. So there's that.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, but that is the only way to do it. It's really awkward. So, yeah, the next one is going to be Skirmish, 720 tons. So on this drop, you tend to see a lot more uniform drop decks. Teams tend to shed the assaults because they're just something that slows you down. If you take direwolves, that means your force is moving, 30, 40 kilometers an hour slower than you would if you just packed a bunch of Timberwolves, Stormcrows, Thunderbolts, what have you.
Yeah, when you have a much more mobile, but also much more uniform force, it's much easier to get all of your firepower into one spot at the same time. That's actually why clan mechs, just in general, if you're playing just pub drops, if you're staying together with clan mechs, it's much easier to coordinate. It's much easier to just overwhelm the enemy forces and get everyone, any stragglers or anyone that's too far in front. Like we saw that Atlas just go down within a couple of seconds at the beginning of that last brawl.
Yeah, that's something that teams really have to work on when they're trying to push in and be aggressive is, you almost want to pick a time, that everybody can see, with 9 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, we're all going to crest this hill. That way everybody knows they need to hit the top of that hill at that time, because if you don't all crest at once, if you're that Atlas that gets caught out in front, and to be honest, an Atlas is just going to get focused. They're going to pick one target no matter what. But MarineMechs definitely didn't all get over that hill once they didn't have enough guns. The direwolves were definitely putting out more firepower than MarineMechs were kiting around the right side. So drawing this on the map here, Seraphim set up in that strong position right there, didn't really hesitate. They just sort of owned that entire plateau, and they even shifted a little higher as MarineMechs pushed in. MarineMechs, on the other hand, looped down, didn't really know what they wanted to do for a while, moved into the city and pushed from this far side of the hill. And a couple of them went straight over, and then a lot of them just sort of kited around right, and I think they didn't cause the confusion that they needed to. They needed to get in there and shake things up, and they didn't. Seraphim never lost control or got confused.
Yeah, I think MarineMechs were really banking on that somewhat awkward attack angle to really catch Seraphim off guard. But like I mentioned earlier, they had a really strong defensive position in that lower plane right in front of the city, so it didn't phase them at all.
Definitely, and I'm watching the replay on the stream right now, and Seraphim just does a great job staying as a big blob, halfway through the fight when, it's pretty even. They've only got a couple mech advantage. You see him still really holding that tight blob up by the hill, doing a great job. So, good job, Seraphim. And it looks like they are in lobby, so we'll be dropping here in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, want to give away a mech bait?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Number between 1 and 100. Go.
Alright, so in 5 minutes, we're going to check the chat again. And we better see a bunch of numbers. Only one guess, please. Please, just one guess per person. Please don't spam the chat. That just makes it impossible to judge.
Don't worry, Bill. I have Control F on my side.
You say that, but like the entire chat scrolls off after like what, 3 or 4 pages. They fill it up fast. They're animals.
I forgot to ask, do you have a map tactic set up that I can take a look at?
Yes,
as well?
I should probably link you to that, huh?
Yeah, that might be useful.
Since I am drawing on that and using that right now. Alright, send it to you in Skype. It's quite...
Got it.
Alright, I just made you a driver, so you should be able to draw on it now. That's what you always wanted. Yeah, I definitely think that the approach wasn't bad, but the execution of the actual push itself was lacking. They needed to really commit to one side, maybe send the fast mechs around back to harass and scatter them.
And correct me if I'm misremembering, but wasn't it MarineMechs that had their contingent of light mechs flank off in one of the matches, and they were able to come in and clean up afterwards? Was that it was?
I feel like that might have been.
I think.
Oh man, I don't know. They're all the matches blur together at this point. After like 2 weeks, it's all, I have no clue what's going on. But it wouldn't. I feel like that might have actually been their first game against Stratagame Merc Corps. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but either way, should be interesting. So now, MarineMechs gets to choose the side of the map that they want, and it is going to be the burden's going to be on MarineMechs to push because they're a match down, and a tie will just award both teams a point. So Seraphim would take this series. I gotta be perfectly honest here. I'm hoping for the upset.
Everyone likes a good underdog to root for, huh?
I was really happy with those CI matches last week, so more of that, please.
So, for those of you just joining us, Rising Storm took the first game against MarineMechs, and we're going to be going into just a straight beat 'em up skirmish match with 720 tons on each side. We're slowly coming in on 5 minutes, so hopefully we'll see the chat explode in just a second.
That's disconcerting. I feel like the website is down right now. That's not good.
Are you talking about MWO Marks?
No. Major League Mech Warrior.
Oh.
No, okay. Maybe Chrome is just being angry. I don't know. They're still in lobby. Haven't dropped yet. So, we're safe. I have no clue why it doesn't work, but it does on the other browsers, so whatever.
Yeah, I got it on my screen.
And for those of you that have missed any of the matches this week, whether it's QQ versus 228th or AS versus the Mercstar turret drops, or this one, or the one that will happen next week, you can always find those on my YouTube channel, or perhaps the YouTube channel of whoever else cast them. But so far, looks like those are all going to be on mine. I will post those at the end of every week.
And we have our first numbers streaming into the chat.
Oh,
so
boy.
here they come.
Yep. Carp going with the classic 69.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
I know, that actually reminds me of back in high school. There was this teacher that had like this really serious moment. It was like, you know, if anybody wants to ask me any questions, advice about life, anything like that, just lay it on me. You know, and a couple of kids asked some serious questions. And then this one kid was like, hey, Mr. Doherty, what's 70 minus 1?
Settle down, Beavis.
Yep, good stuff.
And I'm sorry, Papa Doge, animals is not a number.
It was close. It was like a number, but kind of not.
At all.
I'm really, really surprised that, well, that there aren't far more numbers streaming into chat.
Yeah, looks like...
Usually they just keep guessing regardless of what I say, so... Wow.
We might actually have a very, very civilized crowd tonight, which...
I know, that's almost ridiculous.
Very
Yeah, like what the hell? Don't get all behaved on me now, users. Twitch chat is supposed to be a cesspool. Don't disappoint me. Where the hell is I Drive a Jag and the other stream trolls? We really need them around. Still,
You know what?
lobby.
I'm going to open up the floodgates since I'm the one looking at this anyway. And we're still waiting for MarineMechs and Seraphim to drop in the match.
I mean, on the bright side, it's not starting like a half hour late like last week's Tikhonov match. Man, I just can't believe how optimistic I was with that. With how long I thought we could take between drops and still have it get ready, but apparently everybody needs to rebuild their mechs. Everybody's a cheapskate. Nobody buys different engines or modules, and I don't blame you. So what kind of a mech owner are you? Do you actually own equipment for each one of your mechs? Do you move engines around, modules?
Oh man, I have way too many mechs to keep every single one of them equipped. I'm going on. Let me check real quick how many mechs I have.
Yeah, please do.
I have Let's see. I have 129 mechs. And not nearly enough engines to keep all of them equipped. And congratulations, Jace Valorn. You have... Oh, wait. Yes. Jace Valorn was the first one to guess the number. It was 22. So
they just got into match, just so you know. And congratulations, Jace.
Thanks for the heads up.
I would tell you what's... Oh, hey, you know what? Overlay. That, yeah, don't do this again. There we go. There we go. It was scary for a minute, kids, but we recovered. Alright, so...
it looks like, let's see,
Seraphim is going to be in red.
Switch sides?
No, MarineMechs is taking the same side they did the first time. I see two Atlases again. I see Thunderbolts. I see... Honestly, I see the same drop deck as when they were playing, Conquest, so that's an interesting choice. Whereas Seraphim going with the new meta with the all Wub Thunderbolt drop deck. And you know, if I had to give it to a team just based on drop deck right now, I've got to say that the all Thunderbolt, couple of Hellbringer and couple of Firestarter drop deck has the advantage. They just got a more uniform speed. They're doing a more uniform thing. They're going to be great focusing legs. So we'll see how that plays out. The scouts definitely see what they're doing, though. MarineMechs knows what they're up against here. And MarineMechs sort of sitting in the same place they did last time before they decided to make their move. They're just kind of chilling down in this little lower dropship area. And Seraphim's taken a slightly lower position than they did last time. They're sort of camping behind the hill. Let's go through some of these mechs. I'm going to assume it's medium pulse. Is it all medium pulse?
I saw a lot of small pulse. I saw small pulse hunchbacks.
My
I
God.
saw small pulse fire starters. It's crazy over in Seraphim.
Yeah, and the DDC standard brawl. But it looks like everything else has got medium pulse lasers. It's incredible. And it looks like Seraphim might be shifting over to the right. And MarineMechs is making their move. We're going to get in on Bandit and his DDC. He is the drop commander. He's going to be the first one in.
If I were to say, I think the positioning that MarineMechs chose is just the weaker of the two between the two teams. And we've already have Rutherford Jackson going down for Seraphim.
Yeah, one of those Thunderbolts down. We got 2 down for MarineMechs, 1 down for Seraphim. They are going legs on those Thunderbolts. They're nice and juicy. Lots of them getting legged. It is just going to come down to focus fire. This is a real hairball. 4 down for MarineMechs, 2 down for Seraphim. The Hunchback gets legged. And he goes down. It's 4-5, close game. The battle is spread all over the place, but it does look like it is going Seraphim's way. They're just cleaning up the last 2 now. Looks like their line held a little bit better. And even though a couple of these mechs are legged, it is going to go their way.
Yeah, that last Thunderbolt just didn't have any leg to stand on. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Hardy har har.
And Seraphim takes the second and final game of the series. So best of 3, so they take the match.
So nice 2-0 by Seraphim. I hope they play out the last game here, but really good job. And you know, you see damage spreads across the board, not a whole lot different. Definitely a couple of mechs that weren't doing so well for MarineMechs got focused out early or just couldn't do what they needed to do in time. Otherwise, though, fairly even. I think it just came down to target calling and focus fire. I think that a lot of mechs were getting shot by a lot of other mechs, and Seraphim just got up a couple mechs early on, and they never lost that lead. You know, again, it's that snowball effect. It's really hard to come back from a man down.
I've always found that where MarineMechs was pushing from, in between that crevasse area, is just a weaker position than sort of the lower city the plain in front of the city that Seraphim had. Just less cover. Everyone was more exposed, just not as good.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward approach. I think you can do it right, but I don't know. If you're going to push in with full brawl, SRMs, AC-20, stuff like that, I think you just need to go straight over the saddle and maybe fast guys from below dropship if you really want like a two-pronged attack. But everybody needs to get there real quick and surprise them. I think that both times Seraphim had sort of an adequate amount of time to back up a little bit, preserve their line, and they never really got scattered. Even though it was close, you know, there wasn't any symptoms of them falling apart late on in the brawl.
And once again in the chat, I'll go fishing for numbers. Whoever guesses the one gets a free mech bag. And no, it isn't 22 again, even though I really like that number.
I guess I'll do a quick overview of what happened in that match, although it was strikingly similar to the first. And I am asking Bandit if they're going to play it out or not, so don't know yet. I'll let you guys know as soon as I do. Meantime, let's draw this out. MarineMechs again choosing low side, which honestly I don't really like that much. I like it defensively, I don't like it offensively. They pretty much just snaked straight up on the just on the top side of dropship there. Not a whole lot to their approach. Seraphim earlier on sort of staying more down towards Kappa, but you know, by the end of the fight especially, they'd shifted up there, sort of reorganized their line a little bit. Not a whole lot to say other than it was a scrappy brawl, and I think Seraphim had the slightly better focus fire on that. Having said that, definitely a good job to MarineMechs. You know, Seraphim never took it by much. It was, I don't remember the scores, but I want to say it was about 6 kills each time, and a lot of those remaining mechs were weaker legged, so definitely a good effort by MarineMechs.
Yeah, both games really could have gone either way, but it just comes down to who can focus the most legs at this point.
You know, and that is why Seraphim's ranked number 9. You know, they're a damn good team. They know how to focus fire. They didn't fall apart. And that's, you know, really the measure of a good team. You know, when you can get pushed into and not fall apart, when you can just keep your focus fire and do a good job taking people down, that's when you sort of break into the top there.
And congratulations to Droyaxwheel for guessing the number, although I did notice that you were just counting down, but yeah, fair enough, someone got the number.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Don't see a lobby forming up. Don't have a response from Bandit yet. I'm gonna, I guess, ask the other team. Yeah, I have Bonka on my friend. I don't know. Apparently did not have him on my friends list, so we're gonna ask him too. Maybe someone in Twitch chat will know.
Yeah, we certainly have Ed Meester in here saying never skip leg day. It looks like, if I were to wager a guess, it doesn't look like they're going to be fighting that third match.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and update the bracket, and I guess I'll link that for anybody that doesn't have that. Yeah, so 5 minutes ago in chat, I linked the bracket, and yeah, so I guess the next elimination match, well, not the next one, but the first week 6 one is going to be Antares Scorpions versus Seraphim Rising Storm. That's sure to be a good fight. You know, I always got to root for AS. They've been around for a long time. I've known Psyches forever, all the way since Open Beta first started, so always good to see an EU team up there doing really well. And the winner of Mercstar Axis of Ignorance versus Tikhonov Commonality will face my own QQ Mercenaries, which of course I hope go on to win it all. And again, it will be the best of 5 series, and it's going to be Tourmaline, the best map ever, according to me. And yeah, so let's see. Any word from Bandit? They're going to play it out.
Bandit just telling me that they're going to fight the last match. And okay, so I guess they're going to be playing it out.
Great, that is what I was hoping. MarineMechs have been great sports throughout this entire tournament. They've been really eager to learn and improve and all that, and I figured that they would end up playing this out. So that's why I definitely wanted to wait for an answer from him. Sure enough, he's not going to disappoint the viewers. We're going to get this going in just a couple of minutes here. So they are in lobby. I'll hopefully not have an overlay. We had a scare. That was scary. You know, right at the beginning of the round, I remembered you guys could have been in the dark the whole time.
Well, not completely in the dark. You do have a backup stream with me right here.
That is true. That is true. And you might want to put that multi-Twitch link in chat again for anybody that doesn't have it. So something like 5 minutes ago, we put this multi-Twitch link in chat. The 5-minute delay is killer. That's the worst part, because there's no margin for error. It's not like, oh yeah, you forgot the overlay and it can be fixed. It's like, well, you forgot the overlay, and you know, 5 minutes from now, someone will be telling you you're an idiot. Hey, he just mentioned their paint job. We got to take a look at these teams' paint jobs. I really need to do a better job of that. I need to send out like an email to all team captains to send me a picture or something, but we should look at them in game. That is a prize, 2,000 MC per person on the winning team of the paint job contest. There's going to be one for one of the first 8 teams eliminated that we're going to raffle off towards the end. There's going to be, what are the other 2 prizes? Oh, the team that got the most kills that lost in the first week. I don't know who that is, but somebody's already won that, and they're going to get a bunch of MC for it. And then the last one, what the hell is the last one? What is the other prize? I really wish I could get to the site right now. Oh, that's right. Of course, the attitude prize, miscongeniality, as voted by the other teams. So when you're an awesome team that has a good attitude, you can get paid. I guess the fans are clamoring for another famous blue penis right now. I guess I can't resist the call. I don't really know how to turn this into a penis, but I'm gonna find a way. It's pretty misshapen, but it's definitely there. Maybe this is Bush. Maybe that's just
yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, I don't know which side is the balls, to be perfectly honest.
You know, it was pretty hard working from, like, I mean, this guy's balls are really small. Like, they started up in Charlie 4, but it was a really small nut to start working with, and then it just all went downhill from there. They're still in lobby.
The balls C4 or the balls E2?
The balls C4, and then the head got, you know, misshapen. I was going for, well, I need to distinguish it as the head, but now it just looks like a billy club. So, yeah, overall, 4 out of 10. Definitely not a very good penis. Maybe like the penis of a burn victim. Yeah, I would not penis again. 2 out of 10 with rice. So they are still in lobby, and that's why we're drawing penises right now. We're not just messing with you. This third match doesn't count for anything. I'm thinking it's going to be Conquest 3-3-3-3, since that's what it's supposed to be, but who knows what the hell they're going to play, since it is just a meaningless third match.
An exhibition match.
An exhibition. Second code has already been redeemed. That scares me. Well, whatever. I guess that one's already been used. That is frightening, though. I really hope that doesn't happen again.
Here's a bunch of codes for some mech bays, and some of them are already been used. Maybe. Go figure.
Well, that's the first one I've heard, so we're going to hope that doesn't keep happening. Whatever. PGI's codes have been good to us so far. It's a great way to... Hey, they're in match. We don't have to just babble anymore. We're launching into match.
Excellent.
I'm putting up the
Always
overlay. Check that out. So it looks like MarineMechs are going to take topside this game, and it's going to be Seraphim Rising Storm down here in red. I see a Direwolf and an Atlas DDC. So we are probably going to see, yep, 2 Direwolves, an Atlas Thunderbolts, a couple of Novas as well. And then of course Fire Starters for the lights. So that's Seraphim's deck. Pretty standard, except the Novas are a bit interesting. 3 Atlas DDCs, Thunderbolts, a couple of Hunchbacks, Stormcrow, and the Fire Starters for MarineMechs. It looks like there might be a little scuffle at Theta, and if there is, it's probably going to go Seraphim's way. They got 2 Fire Starters on it right now, and sure enough, MarineMechs Firestarter just dropped like right on them. Oh man, I don't know what that was. He clearly did not expect them there, and they didn't expect him. So at this point, I think he's just going to try to bail out. In the meantime, main forces just playing a standoff game at Ridge, although the DDCs are moving up. I don't know if they might try to charge or not. Mad Gunner did make it away in his Firestarter, and all of the Firestarters are bailing out now. I believe Seraphim has the cap.
Well, that Firestarter even pulled a Stormcrow from Seraphim's main force, so it might be interesting to see how that imbalance plays out if one of these teams decides to push over this ridge.
It is weird to see this Stormcrow down here, like with the scouts. Like, why? It doesn't even look like a street crow, so I really have no clue what it's doing. Maybe it is.
But it does look like Seraphim has a really, really good arc. Just looking at this, at the armpit, as some people call it.
Definitely, and for anyone watching this, again, textbook defense right here. You know, a lot of people love to just jam everybody up here by Vonka, but it's these guys back here that you really need. And honestly, I'd have both Direwolves back here. I think that is way too far to put the Direwolves.
And it looks like we've got 3 Atlases moving down. This might be MarineMechs.
Oh, you're right. Yep, they're going to do lower side of dropship. They know that it's a strong defensive position, and of course Seraphim responding right away, pushing right. Vorpal Sword is going to be...
Bandit ran into Chucktacular.
Oh man, a couple cut out.
This is the match right here.
Oh wow, and Seraphim really does a great counter push, and they get the better end of it. Stormcrow down, that Hunchback is going to go down. So the first 2 are going to... And Vorpal Sword, though, and that Direwolf got caught way out back. Sure enough, they abandoned him. So one of these Atlas is going to go down as well. I believe it's a 3-to-1 advantage for Seraphim, yes. So that direwolf goes down, but lots of mechs down for MarineMechs, unfortunately, during that push. Bandit, B-17, the drop commander, getting ganked from all sides. Sure enough, he is going to go down. Seraphim relentlessly circling.
New target.
The battle is all over the place a bit. Honestly, it's 2-4 still. It is a pretty close game. Lots of leg mechs.
And it looks like they're just going for pure conquest, as all the other caps have been taken.
Oh, wow.
But that's not going to matter much when all the mechs are dead.
And sure enough, Seraphim does eventually grind them down. And it's just going to be a couple of fire starters left. There's also a Thunderbolt, but I'm sure all the bigs are going to go after him right now.
Yeah, that Nova's just tearing into that juicy side torso. And that is the match. Good games on everyone. Congrats to the winners, Seraphim. We'll certainly be seeing them next week.
Definitely. And great job to MarineMechs as well. You know, they played admirably. They have some things to work on, but they definitely gave it a good showing. And, you know, thanks for playing out the 3. It's always good to see teams do that and give a little bit extra to the viewers. Looking at damage numbers, definitely Seraphim's game there. That counter push was just brilliant. You see that their direwolf, one of them got caught out. I think it was Vorpal Sword, still managed to do almost 400 damage. Just a crazy amount. That's way too much for a mech that got caught out completely alone. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
How it happened is it was a direwolf.
I mean, it's true, but still, that's a couple cooldowns worth of heat there. That is not something you can put out with like a couple of alphas, a cool shot, and just going to heat limit. That's leaving a direwolf along, you know, there for way too long. But perhaps I missed something there. Either way, lots of mechs went down early for MarineMechs. That Stormcrow and Hunchback got caught out way too early. They were not with their main force. I don't know why. I don't think they were expecting the counter push. I think they were just expecting maybe to take a different approach once the main force had gone under dropship. But Seraphim, great push response. They did that counter push and they ended up taking it for that reason.
Yeah, it really was a backstab how Seraphim came over the drop, the dropship, and just took out a Hunchback just immediately while everyone's backs were turned. It was just very, very brutal and very, very quick. How quickly they were able to take down 2 or 3 of MarineMechs before they even had a chance to turn around and respond. But they didn't turn around. They kept pushing, and they were able to take only one mech, the Vorpal Sword's direwolf, in trade. So that's probably what really unbalanced the two teams at that moment. And the rest of the match was just a result of MarineMechs' decision to keep going around the dropship.
Definitely, and I've drawn this a little bit on map tactics, and it was pretty simple. Again, not a whole lot of re-maneuvering that can go on this map, but basically MarineMechs sat up there, up top. They got their main forces start pushing around. Seraphim scouted it, and they immediately and aggressively pushed straight over the ridge into this unhappy face, which is the 2 mediums that just got absolutely crushed on the way over. I think they were maybe gonna go through the middle slot on dropship, or maybe over top once the main force had gone around bottom, but they ended up just getting caught alone and killed very, very quickly, putting MarineMechs essentially at a 2-mech disadvantage. And again, in this game, when you're down a couple of mechs, it's so hard to come back. That's just 10 on 12 is just not a good number when you didn't get anything for that trade. So that's pretty much what it came down to. And then the rest of the fight, while close, just slowly went Seraphim's way.
And I think maybe had MarineMechs acted a little bit earlier, that Stormcrow that we noted at the very beginning that was all the way down in Theta might not have been in the match, but they waited a little bit longer, and that Stormcrow was able to join the rest of Seraphim's forces and add to the 11 mechs that they had still alive.
Absolutely. And it was just very good play by Seraphim. You know, I don't expect anything less than them. But certainly showing, you know, not taking this match lightly. Good job on that one. I guess since it's over, we might as well wrap this up. Army of One, any shoutouts?
Not at the moment. I'm just kind of hungry.
Oh boy, I'm so with you on that one. Yeah, I haven't eaten a whole lot today either, so you know what? I want to give my first shout out to food, because food is amazing, and without it I would die.
I can agree with that.
But without it, I would also be a sad, sad person. I am the kind of person that I'm really lazy. I'm unwilling to exercise unless it's the choice between that or not eating a bunch of delicious food. So that's how much I love food. And let's see, second shout out, of course, to Tina and PGI for all the help. The, you know, $1,000 worth of prizes. Well, apparently $999 worth of prizes with that mech bay that's already been redeemed. All the advertising, stuff like that. Tina's just been great, really responsive. She's an awesome new community manager, so thank you, Tina.
Yeah, I do have to say, the last 3 weeks, event every single week. We have not seen that from PGI at all. It has been amazing. Thank you so very much, Tina. And hopefully next week we'll see a resistance event to go with this week's clan event.
Yeah, I don't know if she's had any hand in the actual events themselves, but it seems like they've improved quite a bit. A lot more nuance, more interesting stuff. You know, the rewards for people that have bought stuff. It's just the approach that we've wanted to see for a long time. I hope that continues, and I hope they're also actually taking the feedback seriously. They've been asking for it in a very organized, impressive fashion. You know, again, good job, Tina, on that one. Really hope they follow that. Really hope they take some of Sabujo's suggestions. Shout out to Sabujo. If you haven't seen his Mech Lab mock-up, go on the forums, look in the public test section, check out his mock-ups for the warehouse and the mech selection grid in the Mech Lab. Great concepts. I hope PGI listens to those, if none of the other feedback. And my last shout out is to Army of One for being here, casting with me, and making this easier as it always does. Thanks, man.
No problem. I do always find that it is very, makes it much easier when you can really interact with another caster. As you know, I casted Run Hot or Die the other week, and it was just sort of me sitting here going, well, it looks like he died, and he also died, and oh man, he lost an arm out, now he died. Kind of, you know, very insightful commentary that you'll only find at the top echelons of casting.
You know, it takes a while to get your feet under you and to be able to fill some of that dead air. Even when you're good, some days you're just like, you know, you just don't want to talk. You don't want to just sit there and babble to yourself. So it's always nice to have somebody around. So thanks for joining me, and thank you to all the viewers for watching. Without you, what the hell would we be doing here? So that's going to do it for us tonight. Be sure to tune in next week for Tikhonov Commonality versus Mercstar Axis of Ignorance. And I'm also guessing that, you know what, let's not guess. Let's just check the forums really quick and see if the two winners bracket matches are scheduled, because if they are, those are the matches that you're totally going to want to see next week. Let's see, Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern will be Imperial versus 228th. I will find a way to cast that if no one else can. And no word on CSJ SJR yet. They have not quite scheduled. I will post that as soon as I know. So that's it. That's going to do it for us this week, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for being with me, Army 1.
Anytime on the spill.